In this lecture, we are going to discuss the drug delivery systems. So let's look into what a drug delivery system comprises of. It includes a drug formulation, a technology to carry the drug inside the body, and mechanism of drug release. Conventional drug delivery systems includes the formulation of the drug into a suitable form. For example, a tablet or a capsule for the oral use or an intravenous injection. But it has certain limitations which include higher dosage requirement, low effectiveness, and more toxicity and side effects. Targeted drug delivery system. Targeted drug delivery system is also known as smart drug delivery system because it involves the increase in the medication in one or few parts of the body only, and hence it delivers the medication only to the area of interest where it is needed. And this has certain advantages over conventional drug delivery system, which includes increased efficacy of the drug, site specific delivery, decreased toxicity and side effects. It increases the convenience. It also provided a viable treatment for previously incurable diseases, and it comes with a better patient compliance. Mechanisms of drug targeting. We have two mechanisms for drug targeting. One is passive targeting and the other one is active targeting. So let's look into what these mechanisms are. Passive targeting. Passive targeting can be explained with the help of a chemotherapeutic agent who preferentially accumulates in the solid tumor tissues and increases the vascular permeability of the tumor tissues as compared to the healthy tissues. As shown here, a drug passing through the blood vessels accumulates preferentially in the tumor regions and perform its action in this specific tissues only. Active targeting, on the other hand, involves the surface functionalization of the drug carrier with the ligand that is selectively recognized by the receptors on the surface of the cells of interest. Since the ligand receptor interactions are highly specific, so this allows the precise targeting of the drug. In case of a tumor drug or cancer tar- tar- drug targeted with a ligand, it binds to the receptor on the surface of the tumor tissue or the tumor cell, which is then taken up and released inside the tumor cell. So let's discuss the carrier-based drug delivery system. These systems involve small particles of 10 to 400 nanometer, and the goal of these systems to have optimized drug loading and then the release properties of drug, so they can be released at the site where they are needed. They are designed to have long shelf life and they should offer low toxicity. Currently, the carrier-based drug delivery systems available includes micelles, liposomes, nanoparticles, microspheres, neosomes, and released erythrocytes. So we are going to discuss these carrier-based drug delivery systems one by one in the next few slides. Micelles. Micelles are formed by self-assembly of amphiphilic block copolymers in the aqueous solution. These polymers have a diameter of 5 to 50 nanometers. As shown here, these block copolymers have a hydrophobic chain and hydrophilic head groups, and they have the ability to deliver or store the drugs which are even have low solubility. So what happens is during the self-assembly process of these amphiphilic block copolymers, the insoluble drug will be incorporated or stored in this hydrophobic region of the micelle. Liposomes. Liposomes are a form of vesicles that consist of either many, few, or just one phospholipid bilayer. As it is shown here in this figure, liposomes are non-toxic, non-hemolytic, and non-immunogenic since the lipid bilayer forming the liposome is part of human cellular membranes. They are also biocompatible and biodegradable, and they can be designed to avoid the clearance mechanism of the body. Neosomes. In neosomes, the vesicle forming amphiphile is a non-ionic surfactant such as SPAN60, and it creates a bilayer like structure, and here is a structure of a SPAN60 which can be used to produce this bilayer. And this bilayer can be stabilized by the addition of cholesterol or small amount of anionic surfactant such as biacetyl phosphate. Neosomes and liposomes are equally active in drug delivery potentials, and they both increase the drug efficacy as compared to the free drug. However, neosomes are preferred over liposomes because the former exhibit higher chemical stability and they are cheaper compared to the lipid bilayer systems. Surfactant forming neosomes are biodegradable and non-immunogenic and biocompatible, like lipid bilayers in liposomes. Let's compare liposomes and neosomes. The bilayer of the vesicle is made up of surfactant in neosome, while phospholipids make the lipid bilayer in liposomes. The components of the liposome, which are surfactants, are easily available, while liposome components, phospholipids, are difficult to obtain. They are highly preferred surfactants available for the neosomes, but the purity of the phospholipids varies. No special conditions are required for the storage of surfactants, while the inert environment and low temperature is required for the storage of the phospholipids. They are highly stable and the cost is low for the surfactant to produce neosomes, while the stability is low for the phospholipids and lipid for liposomes, and they are highly expensive compared to the neosomes. Nanoparticles. Nanoparticle-based drug delivery systems include nanospheres and nanocapsules of size 100 to 200 nanometer. They are able to absorb or encapsulate a drug through and protect it from enzymatic and chemical degradation. They can deliver the drug in a controlled manner to the site of action. More recently, the interest in this field developed because they can be used as a carrier of DNA in gene therapy, and they have the abilities to deliver proteins and peptides and genes through peroral route. Microspheres. The spherical shells of microspheres are filled with the drug substance for the release as the shell is degraded. They have a diameter of 1 micrometer to 1000 micrometer, and they are spherically free floating particles made up of proteins or synthetic polymers, hence they are biodegradable. They include microcapsules in which the entrapped substance is distinctly stored in a capsule wall, and they also include micromatrices. In micromatrices, in contrast to the microcapsule, the substance is dispersed throughout the matrix. Drug-loaded erythrocytes. Erythrocytes can be used for drug delivery carriers. They are biocompatible and biodegradable, and with long circulation half-life, they can be loaded with a variety of biologically active substances. The carrier erythrocytes are prepared by collecting the blood sample from the organism of interest, and then erythrocytes are separated from the plasma. These erythrocytes are made permeable using physical or chemical methods, and the then drug is entrapped in these erythrocytes. Finally, they are released, and the resultant carriers are called released erythrocytes. Here, a schematic representation of this process is shown. So we isolate these RBCs from an organism of interest, and we treat it with some chemical agent which increases the permeability of these cells. The increased permeability of these cells can lead to the better absorption of the drug. So these erythrocytes are then treated with the drug and isotonic solution, leading to the absorption of the drug inside these erythrocytes. And they are now called as released RBCs or released erythrocytes. They can be re-injected in the organism for the drug delivery. So after carrier-based drug delivery systems, let's discuss transdermal drug delivery systems. Transdermal drug delivery system is defined as a contained discrete dosage forms which when applied to the intact skin deliver the drug through the skin at the controlled rate to the systematic circulation. Transdermal drug delivery systems include sonophoresis, osmotic pump, and microencapsulation methods. Sonophoresis. In this method, the drug delivery is enhanced through a combination of thermal, chemical, or mechanical alterations within the skin tissues. For example, ultrasounds can be used to induce the increased absorption of a formulation in the epidermal or dermal tissues as shown here. Osmotic pump. Osmotic pressure is used as a driving force in this system to release the drug in a controlled manner at the site of action. Drug is encapsulated here in a semi-permeable membrane along with an osmogen, and it will be released at the site of action under the controlled conditions. These systems can be used for both oral and parenteral administration. Microencapsulation. Microencapsulation is a process in which small droplets or particles of liquid or solid materials are surrounded or coated by a continuous film of polymeric materials. Microencapsulation is a drug delivery system suitable for the drugs which have high reactivity, they are highly volatile, they have hygroscopicity or insolubility issues. These drugs are actually encapsulated in the polymeric material which protects them from humidity, pH, oxygen, and from the immune system. The drug at the site of action will be released as a result of an external stimuli, and it will perform its action only in the areas where it is needed.